Right team, it's spring just around the corner, the end of March. I'm so looking forward to it. This time of year we are doing what most people do, which is buying in bare root strawberries. It is by far the easiest way of doing it. You've just got to do a few things to get them ready for your aeroponic tower. When you've done those, you're going to get bountiful amounts of strawberries for at least a couple of months. Right team, we're now in our cookery school and I'm going to explain to you all about bare root strawberries. So bare root strawberries are basically strawberries that have been grown a year beforehand in soil, so they get a year's worth of growth on them. If you try and grow strawberries from seed, you will get, literally no strawberries, maybe the odd one. So buying them bare root means that you're always going to have a really good season of strawberries. It just makes perfect sense to do that rather than messing around. So where do you get bare root strawberries from? Tons of online suppliers will do them out of soil, but by far the best route, if you can find it, I've got myself in the UK, I've got True Garden in America and various others. We're all growing into a hydroponic environment, and what that means is we're going to go through a process. Even if we do buy them in, we're going to then get them so they're thoroughly clean. They're going to be, we will definitely put some hydrogen peroxide around the roots. What we're talking about is that a root-borne disease, if it gets into your tower, will cause mayhem and kill all your plants. So what you really need to do is make sure that they are in utter clean conditions before you get them in, and that is basically by soaking the roots and then cleaning them down. Now we will then clean them down and grow them on for a period so that we can guarantee you're not going to have a problem. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at what has literally arrived yesterday, and these are coming from a fairly reputable UK supplier of bare root strawberries. They do lots of other seedlings as well. There's lots, and you'll find lots, but as I say, if you can find hydroponic guys, then do that. So in here, let's have a look. We're going to, oh dear, see, it comes out looking not particularly pretty. It's looking pretty ugly. You can feel that there's soil coming off it, and the leaves have come through a little bit, but they are, they're not in the best of conditions. What we basically need to do is soak them in water, nothing more than that. We're just going to hydrate the roots first. That's super important. Just they've been on a long journey, they're looking pretty ugly, they need a drink. And subsequently, I have got a bowl here, and that is all I'm going to do. You're going to put the roots in, and you're going to keep what's growing out of the top out of that, and you're going to cover it all up. So I'm going to do that now, and then we'll move on to the next part. Right team, let's have a look in here. So you should do this for longer. I'm doing it purely to show you guys what the situation is. I actually have taken quite a lot of the soil off this already. The water is brown. But what we're going to talk about though is just how we're going to tidy this up, right? So some of these strawberries are going to come looking appalling. They have to me in these already. The previous last year looked really bad. They can look like they're just not going to survive, and actually some of them won't. So what we need to do is make it as easy for them to continue and now start growing out. So I would be taking any dead leaf matter. So you can see these guys hanging off here. They need to go. That needs to go. Got this very strange, I think is actually a root. Oh no, that'll be a runner. So that's a runner. We take that off. Then anything else that's looking much darker than the other things. So that might be roots, or it might be leaves. So that is now looking considerably healthier. The leaves it's gonna take some time to get this to come back, but it is what it is. You've got to give it the time and some decent light, some decent water. It'll come back, trust me. Anyway, so that's how we would prepare the top of them before going into the rock wool. Right team, I made a bit of a mess here with all of this soil, but essentially what we've done is we have now taken a delivery that came through a couple of days ago of the strawberries that we already have. We have one here that is already cleaned that I've taken from elsewhere. So we're going to talk about the process from this point forward. Now, first of all, what we need to do, simply on the timings of this, is we need to, because we're going to wrap the strawberry in rock wool, we need to put that into water. Now, we've got to be mindful that strawberries like it more acidic than, say, a pak choi or a lettuce. And therefore, what we need to do is we need to calibrate the water down, because otherwise, rock wool is naturally quite alkaline. It's around about 8 if you actually broke it down and mixed it. So we've got to bring this down, otherwise that strawberry is not going to like it. So what we're going to do is we're going to pH calibrate the water. Now you guys, I'm not going to do this now because you guys know how to do pH calibration. We've got the pH down here, I'm going to put it in there, and then we're going to soak these in the water 15 minutes. It's something you should do anyway. You should do this before you go in, whatever the situation, into your tower. Simply because of what I said about alkaline. Okay, and also we've got what we have in the UK is something called liquid oxygen. It is hydrogen peroxide. And what we should really look to do is to try and use that if you can get hold of some. It's not the be all and end all, right? As long as you're cleaning these down over a long period of time, at least a day, just getting them hydrated, washing them under a tap, getting them hydrated again, just really go through a process of getting rid of all of that soil and you should be absolutely fine. If you do have some H2O2, then adding a small dose of that into perhaps the last wash will then assist with just making sure we've got nothing in there. But okay, so this rock wool is now done, all right? And as you guys know with rock wool, you never squeeze rock wool. That is not what you do. You just do a bit of that, right? Squeezing it is not going to do it any favours.
Why don't we squeeze it?
Why don't we squeeze it? Because I think it breaks and pushes the fibres down together, and that makes it so that it's harder for it to bring in water. I'm a genius, people. And there's an and.
And harder for the roots to grow throughout the medium.
And it is harder for the roots to grow through the medium. Genius. Right, okay, so then that's done. Let's give that a bit more of that. That's pretty much done. So what we're going to do with this, right, we're going to split this. Not necessarily in half, but about 80% of the way through with, I mean, if I had one, you'd be using a really sharp knife, like a scalpel. I unfortunately only have scissors today. So I'm going to go at it with some scissors, and I'm just going to cut this in half, so halfway down like this. And I'm going to just try and leave it so it isn't completely broken if I can. So that is now done. So we've made that incision, as I say. It is about 80 to 90% of the way through, which is awesome. So now what we're going to do, just in preparation, cut a bit of string off, because what we're going to use is that to bind the rock wool together. You could use an elastic band, I suppose, albeit, actually Alex, is that going to leach into the water, the elastic band? Is that a good thing to do?
If you've got cold water, it might break.
Yeah, okay. Look, handy old garden twine is the way forward, people. So what we're now going to do, right, is we're going to take this and we're going to put it into the rock wool like so. So what you're looking for with this is to basically have it so that you've got a little bit of the crown, which is the just above the roots. You'll see there's an area that is a lighter colour, that's the crown, and it's going to basically pop up above the rock wool like this, and then you've got the roots coming down below. You're going to put it in as much as you can. You want to bring it all the way around if you can, without doing what I said earlier on, which is squeezing it. Essentially doing that. Then you're just going to put it on here. Going to put a piece of string underneath it and just tie it up. Simple as that. And then we're done, really. I mean, there's not an awful lot more than that you need to do. Actually, there is one thing, and that is to make an appropriate space within your net pot. And your net pot, which is a bit of a generic term, is the pot that sits inside your tower garden. Now, obviously with this is looking pretty hairy, right? There's no way you're going to be able to thread that all the way through. So you're going to basically cut a hole in the bottom. You can buy some new ones. It's worth it for the strawberries, I promise you. So it goes down through the base and then you've got no worries. Then the roots are in there. So people, that is where we are at. We have one that is ready to pop into your tower. So, I hope that was of use. I'll see you on the next.